I have no idea if we're on here or not. Buckside, we got 6 viewers, and I don't even know how to play our intro music, Rip. I don't know if I have to go in here live before I do it. I had some good stuff ready to go. I don't know. Can you guys hear me out there? Anybody hear me? Anybody hear this? God, and I had it. Hold on. Pause that shit, Rip. You know what you're doing, Rip. You have all this stuff ready to go and set up, or even on the camera. We're live, Rip. I don't know if you have any clue what's going on right now, but
I know what the hell
we are live. I'm going to try to. This was supposed to be our.
What?
Oh, I downloaded the wrong shit. Gosh, dang it. Man, I had you and Crusher Broomfield going to be our opening, and I downloaded it at the wrong. Rip's got his muffins at least. I'm bad at it. I had this all prepared too. Anybody hear this?
So far above them mentally with middle gymnastics. As far as the rest of them,
What comments there?
I intimidated
There's comments.
I didn't give
Anybody hear that music right now? Anybody hear me? Can somebody put a comment? Anything? I know you can hear me.
What about the Buckshot Kid?
Buckshot Kid's on.
Somebody, Buckshot said hello, Rip, and
Why are you sitting there squinting looking at that stuff?
well, my fucking eyes don't work.
Oh, you got to drop an F-bomb right here in the first 30 seconds.
No, it was 32. I was counting.
Now we're going to get banned off YouTube. Corey Fox is
sorry, kid, it ain't my first damn county fair.
Uh-oh, how do you turn this thing off now? God, we need... There. All right, hey, welcome to Live Studios, episode 33, baby. Last week I said it was like live stream 1, Rip. I'm switching back to episode 33. I don't like doing one and then the other because who knows? Maybe next week we won't be able to do it live or something. So this is just episode 33. Last week was episode 32. We are on fire.
I can't open.
I mean, my God, dude, you do right there where the thing is. And
I can't see what it says there.
Yeah.
Well, wait till you get 68 and see how you go.
I hope I can
You'll
function
be,
better than you
You'll be
can.
a chrome dome right
My
there.
goodness gracious.
Your dick won't.
Why don't you scoot over and scoot up and get in here? Hey, how the mic sounded? Anybody out there hear the mics? Last week you couldn't hear mine at all. Big Al Robinson was on here. I don't know why I call him Big Al, just assuming he's big for some reason.
Got a big furnace.
And I know you can hear me, but my mic last week you could hear me, but not really hear me. Rip's mic sounded great. Will you say something, Rip? So
well, I didn't want to interrupt you talking.
well, I mean, come
okay,
on,
say.
Testing. Do that, dude.
I
Testing.
just did.
Testing.
I just said say. You said to say something, so I said say.
All right. Everybody said it sounds good. Vaughn sounds good. That's great for once. What you got going on, Rip? Been a week, man. How was your week so far? Everything great?
What today? What is
Today is Friday, baby.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, we're gonna have to start blocking people off the comments, Rip.
Why? What happened?
Well, I know you can't see it because I don't have it hooked up on this big screen right now.
Well, how much?
Trying to get that. Well, you got your donuts in the way, you got your pop in the way, and all that kind of stuff in the way. Look who just showed up in the comments,
Is
man.
the weasel here? Oh, what the weasel
Manny
want? Good morning.
Valverde.
He's doing sucking ass. Good morning. Like
I
he said,
can't
good.
believe
What's
he
he
is.
want?
I can't.
He
believe
must
he's
want to
on
send
here.
more 5 pictures of him. Different poses.
Oh, he sent me some more. I said we don't even do 5 photos anymore. Weasel, what's wrong with you, man?
We do 10 photos instead of 5.
You're gonna have to talk, man. I'm trying to get this set up on here. I mean, this whole live thing. Renee Dupree told us we need to start going live, and I feel like it's just been. Oh, Buckshot Kid told us to go live. I feel like it's just been a failure so far. I don't know.
Well, you're the orchestrator of this stuff. We're supposed to open the show, and I can
Hey,
plug my book.
what is this show called?
It.
What is this show called?
It says the first word is wrestling.
Okay, what is the rest
The
of it?
second is with.
Okay, then keep going.
With Rip Rogers.
Yeah, who? Wait, who?
Okay.
Who?
Well, when we was doing all the big numbers, it was Lila.
Yeah, no shit. That's right. I need to change it back. We were on fire.
Yeah.
People actually watched this show, and it's called Live Studios.
Well, they thought it was Lila Studios.
We changed it. Yeah, we changed it to Wrestling with Rip Rogers. Nobody watches. Our numbers have been way down. I pulled out the analytics from YouTube for last week, and we had a straight line going down. I don't know.
What does that mean?
It means our viewership has been the shits. Plug your book, man. There you go. Tell about it. It's your chance as you choke on your muffin.
Well,
Come on, right there. I had a webcam too. I know this camera looks like shit. I had a webcam all set up. It's right here. It was looking good, looking great. Go to do it today. Doesn't work.
well, you're telling me about to plug my book,
No idea.
and then you're talking about the web.
Why you take so long? Just
I
come
take
on.
so long.
Yeah.
You have to milk things. You
My
got to slow
God.
down. You're talking too fast.
Well,
You're fast with
people
your women.
like go. They don't like just sitting here listening. Have you heard the Kevin Nash podcast? He is
No.
so slow. That whole thing is so slow. I don't know how Kevin Nash gets 9 million viewers. He bores me to tears listening to that thing.
Well, probably because he worked for WWE and,
Well, that's
and
probably
WCW.
That would be my-
It was a household name.
That
for
would
the
be
last
my-
how many years?
that would be my guess.
I mean, you know, that's
Yeah.
a pretty good
It's-
guess. But anyway, book on pro wrestling lessons from Rip Rogers. Get it on sale. Where at Amazon right now.
Amazon.com, baby.
And since you missed the opening, where you're supposed to smash the button.
Oh yeah. Listen,
Smash.
man, we need some subscribers. We finally got a couple come in, but hey, look at that Ripper on the big screen, baby. Now
Oh,
we can
there it
start.
is.
Look at that. Man, it's like we're in a real studio now when this happens. Hey, I just got a notification from YouTube that says we're live on YouTube. That's pretty cool.
Thank you.
I sent out a bunch of stuff to people yesterday. Thought we'd have a whole bundle of viewers on today. After that, we're up to 5, Rip.
Yeah,
We
well,
got 5.
that's a small bundle.
That is a very small bundle. We have 5, ladies and gentlemen.
Well,
Just like we used to do 5 photos.
And then with Manny Valverde, that's why we had so many complaints. They said it looks like that guy was in for. Are you allowed to say child molesting or anything like
I
that?
mean, I think so. You just said
Okay.
it. So, I mean,
I just wonder.
you can't ask if you can say it.
But
when you
Manny the
just
Weasel
said it.
Valverde looked like mug shots. And it must be old pictures because there ain't as many hot dogs on his neck.
Maybe
And he looked half shredded.
he's on a diet, man.
Well, you know.
Hey, I just saw came through. Failure is funny. It pops me. Yeah. Hey, it just came through that the vet came through. He said membership number 1 right here, Bay. I think he said that last week, maybe. I know we have a couple memberships. Hey, vet, how do I look up? It says like we have 2 memberships, but I can't see names anywhere. Where do I find that in YouTube on names? I've Googled it, searched it, all kinds of stuff.
I mean,
Can't figure it
like
out.
the vet is opinion haver.
No, like we have people that are members
Oh,
on our channel.
we
that-
do.
Yeah, they pay like $1.99 or something a month,
Shoot.
$3.99, something like that. But I can't see the names of who they are. I've looked everywhere.
Probably.
Have you happened to see that anywhere, Rip, when
Maybe.
you're studying all our analytics on this
No, I
show?
missed the analytical part and the
Yeah.
studying part and anything part. But
Oh, he said, hell if I know. He doesn't know either. Hey, oh my God, look who's on here now.
who?
Can you? look
Hey,
at-
yo, Allah.
We're gonna sing the intro, the theme
What was
song
like
here.
last
Rip.
time we went, hey, oh, hey, oh, the snippets, oh, 168, Ben Hameen, Bender, Kayfabe, Snabbit's favorite, oh.
Just make up all that right now.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that was really good there, Rip.
Yeah, it's the fucking
Maybe
best.
Ben Hameen knows how I
It was-
see where my
it's the best one we
subscribers,
did
or not
today.
subscribers, my memberships are. Have no idea how to find that in the YouTube. Go subscribe, go smash, ring the bell, all that good stuff. Buy Rip's book. We got to get the show on the road, Rip. Got any big wrestling news or anything?
Hey, I watched the big thing about wrestling that the Rock's
The
putting
big thing
out.
about wrestling.
About the stories back to territories.
Oh, yeah, I heard that.
Yeah,
So the
and-
Rock put out or is putting out some kind of.
One had Jerry Jarrett on there. They had Jeff Jarrett on there.
Can you sit up at all?
I
or
can't
you just,
sit up
It's like
any
you're
higher.
laying down. I mean,
Whoa, you put your chair higher than
can you
mine.
can you try to just sit up
What?
or no? You can't. do that?
There. Oh, excuse me for being crippled.
All right. Sorry to interrupt, Rip. So Memphis, The Rock has
Now, it was the stories of the Memphis territory. They had stories on there. Then they had one in there, and which I was half the story, but in the story I wasn't in there. On the story about Randy Savage going in the Waffle House, I wanted to see how many lies there were on that thing.
Can you rewind here?
Okay, rewind.
Like for the people like me that have no idea really what you're talking about, is this a podcast, a TV show?
It's a TV
Who's in
show.
it? Like,
Well, like I didn't have the thing looking in front of me of who it was.
don't you? I thought you watched it.
I watched it.
Okay, so
But
who
I
did?
fast forward around step to one where the story would involve
Okay, so
me.
let me. Who did you watch then? How about that?
Let's see. It was Dutch Mantell. It was Jeff Jarrett. It was Jerry Jarrett, and maybe one more. I can't remember who it was.
Okay, so they were talking Memphis.
Yeah, there's supposed to be stories from the Memphis territory.
Okay.
Like there would be a territory in Pensacola, there would be a territory in Tampa, etc. The old WWF for Bill Watts territory, Fritz Von Erich in Dallas, Don Owen, San Francisco with Roy Shires, Mike LaBelle, and Los Angeles.
So they're talking all this in
No,
that one thing?
They just put it out. It had like maybe 5 stories in it, 4 or 5 stories, what it was. And they was talking about the Randy Savage Waffle incident. They're talking about the Memphis territory. The Randy Savage Waffle House incident was not. It was with the Nick Goulas territory. Excuse me, I was there. And they have and people telling stories, and they weren't there, so they're just making shit up.
Who are these people you're referring to?
Well, watch whatever the show it was.
Well, who was telling the story when you were watching?
Dutch was telling.
Throw somebody under the bus. Don't be scared, Rip. Dutch Mantell was telling the
so
story.
Dutch was telling the story like he was there. He wasn't goddamn there. It was me. It was see the Memphis territory. They're acting like it was Randy was there in Memphis. No, Randy went to Memphis. It's like late 1984. It was 84 or even towards 85. This happened in 1978.
Oh, really?
When I was working for Nick Goulas.
So what city was it in?
Nashville.
Oh.
It was Nashville at the Waffle House. We worked Wednesday night. Then me and Randy went to Waffle House.
So was he close when he told the story? Was he close to getting
Well,
around?
there's 5 years off right there.
Okay.
So
what else? What else was right with it? What else was wrong
and
with
then
it?
it was me and Randy there.
Yeah.
According to this, just Randy walks in.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, just Randy walks
So they didn't even
in.
mention your name?
No, not at all.
Hmm.
So I must be on the super duper kayfabe list. Okay, the super duper kayfabe list. Of course, Dutch is just told what he's told. Whatever, whoever the producer, whatever. So, oh no, poop on that. Just say that. We'll just change the story. We'll just make shit up now. So instead of me and Randy coming in to get our steak and eggs there after the matches, and the guy that comes in that was working there with his, but I'm there, but I'm not supposed to, but I'm really not there. But man, it's just Randy sitting there, but it's really me and Randy sitting there.
Oh, so when they told the story, it was Randy by himself.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Yeah, like Randy was going to go out to eat by himself.
Let's just say that was the case. It was Randy by himself. How would anybody know the story then? It had to be hearsay.
Yeah.
If he was by himself. So
Mhm.
I think that Dutch Mantell and the rest of the people telling this story over and over again need to include Rip Rogers in on that. I think Rip needs to go on the Dutch Mantell Show podcast and tell the truth, tell the real story, the real Waffle House story. You can see it right here on our channel, Rip. We've done it. I've clipped it. It's on there. If you go through our channel, maybe I can repost it or something like that. But you can find it. The real story, the real Waffle House story by the hustler Rip Rogers.
It didn't talk about George Weingroff's dad had to go down and get him out of jail either.
They didn't say that.
No, huh? So a lot of things wasn't there. It talked about the thing where Randy said, "Throw me a knife." Said, "Oh, Randy picked up a knife."
Mm.
No,
They didn't say that you
no,
threw him a butter
he
knife.
Jumped up on the
the big butter knife, Daddy.
and I threw him the butter knife. He says, "Not a butter knife," but I guess if you got all this stuff in there, and I guess if I really wasn't there, so I would be the only one that would know what really happened, and you're butchering things up. And I guess it's like one of them movies about somebody, but they put the thing in the little letters. Well, some of this is true, which.
So my question is, how did this become a Dutch Mantell story? I feel like I've seen this on the internet. Maybe it's because this whole thing just came out, but I kind of see the buzz on this. And matter of fact, when I posted on our channel, some lady was on there and made a comment and said, Dutch Mantell tells this story a lot better than Rip. And then somebody commented, well, Dutch wasn't even there. How did this become a Dutch Mantell story?
Hell if I know. He wasn't there. Only I was there. Me and Randy. And that was it. I'm that guy that had to go out when Randy was taking the billy clubs from the cops when they hit him, and then Bo the dog, which they didn't know the name. Now, why would I know the name was the dog was Bo?
Did they call him Bo the cop?
No.
Well, how do you know it's Bo?
Because I don't know how many times I talked about it. But Randy had the big old gaff on his hamstring and then the scar on his butt.
I know, but did the cops yell, "Hey, Bo"?
No. What I'm getting at is they didn't say it on the other show.
I understand that, but how did you know the dog's name was Bo?
Because I was
the
there.
Question. I know. Did he have a name tag on? Like he walked into Waffle House with the Bo the dog name tag on? How the hell you know his name's Bo?
Because the one fat cop said
that's what I just said. Did they yell Bo?
No.
So the cop did yell Bo. That's what I'm asking.
No, afterwards, after Randy was
it's a struggle here, ladies and gentlemen. Man, I don't know. I know I ask questions stupidly and don't know how to ask questions. The question to me is pretty obvious.
I come in ready to go, and you're panicking because
I look panicked.
Nothing's working right.
I don't give a shit.
Nothing's working right.
Panic. Hey, we got so I think Michael Costello, he's on here, and I think Vet. I think those little green things mean that they are members. They're supposed to actually get a little sticker or tag or something I created. And guess who the tag was of? Our photo was supposed to be of Manny the Weasel Valverde when somebody becomes a member.
Already I'm getting text.
Well,
I knew. No, it is.
Well, you're the one that said it. You brought it into it. Dang. Don't even act like this. We're on live TV, man. Come on. We're on live TV. Think little text. Come on.
Yeah, okay.
Michael Costello, I think he is a member, so thank you, buddy. That's awesome. He said maybe reach out to Dutch and get it on. I want to. Rip's a little against it, but maybe if you guys push it, Dutch will put the invite out to Rip. Maybe we'll do it that way. Shiloh Mount's on here, man. I just beat his ass a couple weekends ago. Which one is he? What's his name?
Randy's Turbo.
So
Turbo 2.
Turbo Floyd and God, what's his name?
Well, you're Mr. Fucking. You're the one that said it. Just say Shiloh's on here.
I did. I said Shiloh's on here,
but
I want to know
many names.
I want to know his other name.
Well, if I call you Clint, you get mad on
Oh my God, are you gonna act like we haven't had a live show all week? Now you're gonna act like this? I mean, come on, man. Good Lord. What's his name? Turbo. What's your name, Shiloh? Shit. Whatever your name is, I just beat your ass 2 weeks ago. Alfred Allen, he might be a new person on here.
I'm waiting for Don Burton to show up.
Got all the top stars on here today, man. All the top stars. Okay, so I'm going to try something here. I got some. I'm going to try it. See how this works. Truth Magnum. Thank you. Ben Hameen came through with the.
See, Ben knows what the hell's going on.
With the Truth Magnum. We'll go back to his show then. I mean, what the hell, man? Can you guys see this right? Okay, maybe that's outside of my studio. I'm trying to pull up pictures. Because we're gonna go through some emails right now. Sorry, this is slow right now. I have no idea what we're doing. If I can't find it, maybe I'll just do it the old-fashioned way and read them. We did get a few emails, Rip. I want to go over here. You got the emails ready to go today? No? Okay. We got our email from Portugal today, too. That was pretty cool. And last week we were talking about the language they speak in Portugal. I can't remember what you said.
It's Portuguese.
Portuguese. It says, in Portugal, we understand Spanish, and a big percentage of the population can speak either English, French, or both. So he didn't mention Portuguese at all. Is that really a language?
That's what I just said.
Well, I know, but he didn't, and he's from Portugal.
Well, Americans.
Oh, it says besides Portuguese.
Yeah. So, in other words.
Man, you're so smart, Rip. I tell you.
I agree with you on that.
I have a question for Mr. Rip Rogers about the late, great Roddy Piper. Did we talk about this already? No, we didn't.
I don't know.
I came across a match between Mr. Rogers and Roddy from Portland. That's probably the one we've all seen on YouTube. I don't know why it says this. It says, without being disrespectful. I don't know why. It says, the selling of you two was amazing. And Roddy talked all the time about the importance of selling. Do you think that when people talk about Roddy's career from entering the business at a young age to a massive heel run, they underestimate the selling ability of Piper?
Well, in Portland, he at that time he was a babyface.
Correct.
So a babyface has got to sell more.
Yeah.
A heel is more. But hey.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you can do one, you can do the other. So they brought him in as a heel, and Buddy Rose, everybody just hated him. So they turned Piper babyface, and they had the best run they ever had there in the history of the Portland wrestling promotion. It was always Piper versus Buddy Rose in some form. Piper's once you understand how to be a heel, you know how to be a babyface, and vice versa. It has nothing to do with the moves. It's all psychology and body language.
Okay, so the question was, Rip, you think he is underestimated with his ability to sell, his selling ability? You think people talk about it much?
No, wrestling fans don't know what the hell selling is to begin with. So unless you are a guy that's been around for 20 years, you don't know what it is. It'd be like an NBA coach talking to an 8th grader. Guys can play basketball, but if you ain't got to experience it, you don't understand it. You don't know it. It's nobody's fault. If you've had 5,000 matches, I think you would know a little bit. If you hadn't had any matches, no matter what things you see on TV or behind the scenes things, or get your kayfabe sheets, your newsletters, whatever, unless you've been in there, you don't know.
All right, I'm going to try to answer the question from what you all just said. I think what you were saying was a lot of his early days when he was in Portland, he was a babyface. So that's when people saw him selling. When he was on national TV, he was more of a heel, so he didn't sell as much. So maybe he is underestimated as a good seller because people didn't see him sell that much because he was a heel in the national spotlight.
Nobody saw him sell as a babyface unless you
watch that match with you.
unless you was in the Portland territory, because this was before cable TV.
Correct. Yeah. Well, yeah.
So I hope that answers your question.
Kind of, I think, yeah. It says, talk about the importance of Canadian destroyers, but rarely do we see a guy that can do a headlock or a back bump and make it look real. Yeah.
Well, Canadian destroyer is one of them big moves that looks great and should be a finisher, and it's not. It's just a rib. Well, today's wrestling world has made everything into a rib. All you got to do is have people start beating stuff with simple stuff. Then all of a sudden, the fans are mad because they didn't get to see 20 false finishes. And well, we didn't like that. Well, I never did anything in the ring to please you. You were the guys that bought the tickets to watch it. I made you mad.
Hey, speaking of, I would love to put some pictures on here. I don't know, Ben Hameen still on here. Is there any way to put pictures into StreamYard? I know how to do videos. I thought maybe I could do the present while I was in live. I set up some videos earlier that I was going to put in here. I cannot seem to be able to put pictures. I would love to put some still shot pictures in here so I can bring them up and then talk about them. So Ben Hameen, if you know how to put pictures in StreamYard, that would be great. T Weasel says kind of like Weasel selling the trailer jack.
Yeah, that was your basic no sell.
Yeah, that was the worst selling we've ever seen. Greg Smith made it on, man. Just saw you guys are live. Gonna have to rewatch what I missed. Cool. Hey, Greg, thanks for commenting on our YouTube channel. All the things we post, you comment all the time. That really helps. That's awesome.
He hadn't missed nothing so far today, so just.
Ben says Teddy Hart is the best. I don't know if he is the best seller I've ever seen. I've not seen a lot of Teddy Hart stuff, so can't really say that or not.
Ben McLean, Teddy Hart did it the best. Did what the best?
I guess selling. I don't know how to put pictures in the posts, Greg, if that's what you're talking about, like in the comments. Is that what you're talking about? In the post? I don't know. In the YouTube post, yeah, I want to put them right here on this show as we talk about them. Is what I want to do, and I can't figure out how to do that. So, also, anybody that is watching this on the replay, I guess you found it. But sometimes on our YouTube channel, it only goes in the live section now instead of the main video section. I noticed that. So I got another email here, Rip, from, I can't remember his name, Dakota. Somebody wrote me a whole lot of stuff here. He also came on today, Rip. I don't know if you saw this or not, but he came on and said our Chris Silvio interview should have been longer.
Well, have him do one with Chris Silvio then.
No, do you remember why it was shorter?
No.
Silvio was late, remember?
Oh, yeah, he was late getting on.
He was late, like 20 minutes late. So we only had like 25 minutes. So, yeah. So, Dakota, baby, tell your boy Silvio to get on here on time next time, and maybe the interview will be longer. He wrote me a book. I was hoping to be able to pull that up. He wants to know about OVW signing full-time contracts. No idea, Rip. You have any idea? OVW, they don't get contracts, probably, do they?
For what?
Like wrestlers.
I mean, when you're
Like, can I sign a contract with OVW? Like a 3-year deal, Von Lilas, OVW, baby. Can I do that?
Does that mean you got to pay them money for 3 years?
No, it means
That's the only contract there'd be there. It's like sign a contract to go to school, to learn this and learn that. You're paying them. They ain't paying you to school.
Yeah, I think he's talking about the people that have been there forever, like Ryan Howe or Tony Gunn. He mentioned those kind of guys.
I think they're picking up anything they can pick up. They all
Yeah.
got regular jobs and live there.
Hey, what do you think about the look here? Doesn't that look good,
About
man?
the what?
Our look, the backdrop with the 2 Rip Rogers emblems there, and doesn't that look good?
What's EP 33? Is that
Episode, right?
What's EP?
Episode.
Is that you made up that EP means?
Well, I think it's pretty much everybody knows that. I mean,
Okay.
episode.
So if I bring some kid off the street and he says Rip Rogers EP 33, he's gonna know what that means.
Yeah, pretty much everybody but you
Okay,
knows what
well, I
that
wouldn't
means.
know.
I mean, I could write out episode and then everything's littler and then your name's smaller and all that kind of stuff, which at this point might be a good idea. So,
Well, we could always put Lila's studio.
I think we need to get back to that. Maybe people will watch.
Lila's studio.
Yeah.
You know.
Rip mentioned in one of your past shows about him being banned in AEW. What exactly does he mean? How did he get banned? Is it true?
Oh yeah, it's true. I guess so. That's what I was told.
You remember who told you?
Let's see. Well, they brought in Dylan and Flash to do TV. I think it was Indianapolis.
Yeah.
And they was told they'd get so much money. And they didn't get near that much money. They didn't get half of what they said they were supposed to get. So what can you go by that? So if you're coming in to work for, let's just say this is a number, $200, and they give you $120, they basically screwed you, didn't they? So I guess if you work at McDonald's for $10 an hour and all of a sudden, oh no, we're going to pay you $4.82 an hour, you got screwed too.
You do understand that doesn't really answer the question about you being banned at all. That you're just talking about.
Oh, so I put it on Twitter because I don't know how to do the stuff where you send it to individuals or whatever. I just put it out there.
I think you know a lot more than you lead on, but yeah.
I don't think so.
So you could put it on Twitter, but how did you find out you were banned? Did somebody say, "Hey, Rip, you're
I can't
banned"?
remember who it was. Maybe it was. I don't know.
Okay, well,
Tony, he does everything his way, and now he's fucking shitting his fucking pants. Everything's so bad.
speaking of Tony, I'll just get to that. I'll since you that's a great segue. I'll come back to the emails. Here is there's 2 big AEW things. One, did you see another big fight backstage? Did you see that?
No, who's that?
Sammy Guevara and what's his name? Ric Flair's son-in-law. What's his name? Yeah, Andrade and Sammy Guevara. So they're going back and forth on Twitter.
Well, that's all.
This is what I want to pull up, and I can't. But
well, that's all management. Management can say, "Well, don't be on Twitter." That's all they got to say.
okay, but they didn't. So they were on.
Were they shooting an angle?
No, I don't think so. No,
Oh, well,
it's another supposedly real fight.
no.
Andrade was supposed to be on TV Wednesday night, and they sent him home.
Did he get paid?
I don't know.
No.
I mean, my guess is no, but it's not really the point. The point is another fight in AEW backstage, and they're tweeting each other. I said it to your face. This is Andrade.
Mm-hmm.
If you had a problem with me and you said nothing, I won't beat your ass because I'm a professional. Don't be scared. When I say something, I name names, and I'm not scared to get fired. And then Sammy comes back and says, "You didn't say shit to me. You are a liar. But here's some truth, you ungrateful prick. You would be jobless if it wasn't for your dad-in-law. Are you really mad at me or mad at yourself for failing to get over for a second time?" Because he was in WWE. "Just go back to WWE like we all know you want to and fuck off." Then he said, "You're a jobber, a favor hire, be grateful, bitch." So then they get to the show Wednesday night, and apparently they just, there's no, I saw Cornette and some of them were saying, hey, they should have been separated or whatever. I'm like, well, I don't know. You're just going to babysit all the time back there? So they basically fought, or somebody threw a punch, and one got sent home, and the other one didn't.
AEW, look at management. God.
Yeah, I've heard on other podcasts where people did kind of fight it out back in the day.
Yes, that was the norm.
Okay, go
They'd
into
fight
that.
it out. And watch it is lock the door here. When you guys, you want to fight all the time, just go fight. Then the winner comes out. But he's beat up too. So, well, I ain't going to do this shit no more. Okay, I ain't mad no more.
So what would the end result would be if that happened? Like if somebody beat somebody else's ass, is it squashed then? Is the beef over? Or are they
Well,
just
usually,
done?
I mean, how stupid are you? You want to fight every day? No.
That's what I'm
Get
asking.
it out of your system.
So what do you think about it? I know you just said management, but what about, like, I know Cornette and some others came out and said, why would Tony Khan ever let these two be together backstage? I mean, what are you going to do? Walk around and have somebody with the other one the whole time? Like, I don't really agree
Well,
with that.
maybe in today's world, you want to hurt somebody's feelings, or you're not allowed to say that. I don't know.
I'm not talking about that. They were saying that they should never have let them interact backstage. I'm saying, how do you prevent it? Would you just have like a little stooge walking around with one of them? It's not talking about their feelings.
That was a joke a while ago.
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah,
I
that
didn't
was
get
a
it.
joke. You guys you're professional. If me and you really hate each other and we got to work a 6-month program, we need to work a 6-month program to the best of our ability. And then you can go off hating me, and I can still hate you if that's what we want to do.
Okay, so give me your opinion on Twitter. Cornette had a thing to come out on what he would do if he was in charge with social media. Do you have any opinion on if you were Tony Khan, would you have rules about Twitter? No rules about Twitter? What would be
if it's causing trouble? Yeah.
Let's assume it's causing trouble since it is.
Then I'd say, okay, add it to it or whatever. Don't be on there stirring shit. You can be on there, but don't be talking, because if you're interacting with the fans, that's one thing. It's a good thing. But when you start doing the bad, worthless shit that's going to do nothing but get heat, unless you're working an inside angle, that's what,
I don't think any of these are angles, because they literally send guys home and fire guys and suspend guys, and they never let it play out on TV. So, I mean, you haven't seen any of the other guys that have been suspended back on TV continuing that angle. They could have worked this angle into TV Wednesday, but they sent one of them home and put Sammy Guevara in the main event. So
who does he know? Why does he have a job?
Well, he's with Chris Jericho would be my.
Oh, okay. Well,
I don't know if my assumption. I have no idea if him and Jericho are that tight, but I think it's just who Tony Khan likes, I guess. I don't know. Vet says, do you have any idea who was anybody that you remember Watts let fight it out?
I think Butch Reed and
oh shit,
and Berserker, I think it was.
Butch Reed and the Berserker. God, was that John Nord?
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, you had two tough alphas there.
Do you remember any kind of results with that?
It was settled, whatever it was. It didn't matter.
Yeah, Buckshot Kid says, why wrestlers have beef on Twitter when it doesn't turn into an angle? Yeah, exactly. If you're going to do it, you might as well do it, make some money out of it. I mean, I would have had the CM Punk Colt Cabana thing, man. I would have had that play out. I would have had Colt Cabana be the winner of the deal and have them one time, man. That would have been a one time. You could have sold whatever you wanted for that.
You mean like Punk against Colt Cabana?
Yeah.
Have a match?
Yeah, they hate each other. They sued each other. Colt. I mean, when it came out, the Punk supposedly got him fired.
There's your angle right there. It's awesome.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But they've never done anything with it. Instead, they sent Colt Cabana home.
Well,
I mean, why not put that as one huge pay-per-view? God, I think everybody would watch it that has anything to do with wrestling.
Because you'd be suspending that disbelief, or well, maybe this one is real.
Well, sure, yeah.
Hard way each other and everything. Hell yeah. Make a little moolah. Have some fun. And when you do that, you might reconnect with the guy, and now you're starting to laugh and have a beer.
Yeah. Well, Punk's straight edge. He doesn't drink.
Oh, I forgot. Oh, yeah.
He's like you, Rip. You were the original straight edge. You're
you
Punk's idol.
you've made me drink that little shot.
Well, until then, yeah.
Yeah.
Greg Smith says you can't let things fester like Sean and Brett in the 90s. Tony Khan needs somebody like Jim Ross running. Yeah, or just let them fight it out. They're all little bitches for the most part. Yeah, that's right. Roy Fox says Vaughn should just be security like the time when he kept the Hulkster from The Rock. That's right, man. I sent out a tweet when all that shit happened, and I told the Young Bucks, man, I'm for hire. I can protect him from CM Punk. I'm not scared of Punk. I saw he's get his ass beat a couple times. So speaking of Tony Khan, though, Rip, Tony Khan then also came out and said he has big aspirations, Rip. You know what Tony Khan's trying to do?
No, what's he trying to do?
Tony Khan says, quote, according to Matt Black here, I think it was like WrestleZone or somewhere, I've got 3 months to win Booker of the Year. I'll make a full court press for it.
Booker of the Year. Okay, now, so it used to be when you'd have Booker of the Year,
Tony Khan.
there was a lot of territories. Now there's not. There's WWE and AEW. What else is it?
Oh, Impact, baby.
And Impact.
OVW, does it count?
No.
Okay.
So there's three. Okay. What a prestigious award.
He's trying to be one of the top three, man.
You used to get, years ago in the kayfabe sheets, which was Meltzer's newsletter, and the promoters, none of them wanted to see that you guys have it because it would stooge stuff off. And then, but he always had the pipeline where somebody from each territory would tell him, and then they would put bogus numbers in there for how much money it drew and how many people was there. Because if you were the stooge for a certain territory, Vaughn, how'd it draw? There might be 300 people. You're telling, it was standing room only. So he'd be writing in, standing room only. So you'd be feeding him sometimes real shit, sometimes bogus shit. And you didn't know what to fucking believe. But he got his newsletter anyway, and everybody had a good time. What the hell? It's all rib. Meltzer's smartest guy around. He's been around for how many years with a good living, and he's put up on a pedestal. And I don't think he's ever had a match.
No, they were saying that he was the original
newsletter guy, probably.
Newsletter guy, dirt sheet guy,
yes.
Whatever you want to call it. Basically doing podcast on paper, like having all that stuff out.
Oh, we couldn't wait to get the thing in the mail. It was always, 10 days late. How many days it goes back. It'd have a special story about each. This is a commercial for Dave Meltzer now. And now Chico Alvarez is a partner with him. And I love Chico Alvarez because he's trained by Buddy Wayne, and he had the match come in and had an hour match on TV. You've never seen the guy before.
Yeah, how'd they ever get together?
Who's that? Chico and
Meltzer. Yeah.
Well, they were West Coast guys, so I imagine Chico got the sheets and everything.
How did you ever know Chico?
Just through Midget.
Oh, really?
Through Buddy Wayne, yeah. He's the one that we booked it to come down to OVW. Who did he fight with OVW? Was it Jamin? I can't remember who he fought. Man Beast. Right? Yeah. Ted the Trailer McNailer, right. They'd never seen each other. Can you imagine? Now, these are two guys that was going to wrestling schools, never seen each other, come on in and work an hour on TV. That's what good, because we was teaching them wrestling, not sports entertainment. Didn't see the guy before. They just called it in the ring. That's the lost art that very, very few know how to do anymore. And the people that knock it are, you're not any good. If you can't call the ring, you're not any good. No matter what you say, you're not any good. Unbelievable. Can you imagine me to be a football player? Well, I got a lot. No, I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, I remember that match was.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah, it was.
And
great.
I'm sitting there going, here's two guys in wrestling school, young guys. They're having an hour match on TV. It's awesome.
So what do you think about Tony Khan? Want to be Book of the Year? You think it's just a bunch of I mean, I think he's serious though. Like
Well, he is serious. The stuff he does, he's serious. He's a fan. Now he wants to be Booker. No, I'm a Booker of the Year. Booker of what?
Yeah, it says, well, there's a lot of build around a lot of these matches, which they build pretty much absolutely nothing on that show.
They advertise guys they'll be in matches of people they don't even know who they are.
Yeah, they bring in people all the time that's never even been on the show, and then they wrestle for the title or whatever they're called now. It says also go back and watch an old wrestling show from the 80s or 90s, and sometimes you'll see two wrestlers wrestling for a spot, wrestling for the winner's purse. Not every match, a lot of matches, most matches, many matches should have a lot of stories set up, but sometimes you can start something new out of a new match. And that is a trope in wrestling that needs to continue to be a thing. You can call it a cold match if you want, but sometimes things start out of new issues.
Personal issues is what draws money. Personal issues. It's if like somebody bullied you and stole your tennis shoes or whatever. Now you're going to fight him. Why? Because that son of a bitch stole my tennis shoes. He called my 237-pound aunt. He called her a fat pig. And I'm going to fight to the death for my aunt. She was just big boned.
Wasn't fat, big boned. Michael Costello, hey, he's a member, so we got to answer his question. Does Rib have any old grudges from backstage beefs? What about Vaughn? I mean, I'm just a great, nice guy. I never had any beefs. Nicest guy in the locker room, man. Rip, on the other hand, I'm sure you had some beefs.
I didn't have beefs. I was easy to get along with.
Who did you just say? Oh, maybe it was you were scared of somebody after you told me you were never scared of anybody.
Shit, I was scared of a lot of people. Are you kidding? I said the Haku just ribbing him. It was me and Haku and Honky Tonk.
What a guy to rib.
Well, I was just right. and then he just took his hand and flicked it. Boom. And just flicked me in the nuts right there. And I dropped right there.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sitting there going,
Not going to do that again?
I'm not going to do that again, right. and Honky Tonk just shaking his head. You don't do nothing with the king here. It was King Haku then or whatever. I was laying on the ground going, selling my nuts. He just went boop, boop. I was down.
So did you ever talk to Haku again after that? Like you guys cool after that? Or?
Mm-hmm. Usually I'd talk to him and I'd talk and I go, hi. My nuts were still up there.
Would you consider yourself like an ass kisser, or were you just nice to people, or people just thought you were a little off, or like what was your persona in the back? Like what did people?
I just did my own fucking thing.
Did you?
Sometimes I was playing, but usually I was just doing squats and lunges and stuff and knee pull and working out. A lot of guys played cards.
Because there's no phones back there.
No, there wasn't any phones. Or you're telling fucking stories about whoever you was with last night, or what happened last night. How was your trip on the way home, or this or that, or what you got coming up in your match, what you setting it up for, this and that.
Yeah, that reminds me of watching other people's matches. AEW, I watched Wednesday night, and the first two matches, the babyface came out, or I think it was a babyface both times, and offered a handshake, like back-to-back matches. And it didn't work. It didn't work in either match. Like, why would you follow the first match up with an offer of a handshake with another offer of a handshake?
They could have went as a rib.
They're not fucking smart enough.
No, wait a minute. Ribbing. If that's what maybe that's what Booker of the Year told them to do.
I don't think they watched the other matches. And if they did, they don't care. They don't think it matters that the first match did that. And I think when Tony Khan wants to be Booker of the Year, I think it's who he's having put together, who goes, wins and loses and stuff. I don't think he really puts together anybody's matches. Surely to God. I don't.
My God, if he's Booker of the Year, he's supposed to do all that stuff.
Yeah. I think he's more talking storylines and who's wrestling and that kind of stuff. Surely the guy, Tony Khan's not sitting back there and saying, all right, you offer a handshake, and then the second match, we're going to do it again for no reason. Neither one of them's going to do it. Or neither one of them's going to take advantage of it or nothing.
shoot, maybe you could get on there as book. No, you couldn't be a booker, but maybe you could get a job there as whatever.
Well, he just hired and promoted all these people to help him, and then obviously he's not using them. So anyway, I thought it was the shit. See if we got any questions here. Oh, Susio's on there. Looking great, Rip. Like an older, more attractive male. Lilas, you are over. I sent Silvio a good text today. The guy that commented, what's his name? Dakota said we should have gave you more time on our interview. Of course, you were the one that was late, and that's why that's why that happened. So Carl Brown says, what if Tony Khan used a AEW, New Japan, ROH, others as territories for the guys? I don't know if they'll ever do that. I mean, they already own Ring of Honor, and they don't use it at all. So, except to add new titles to the AEW TV show. What do you think, Rip? You think there needs to be developmental?
Developmental for what?
AEW.
They need to have guys practicing every day to some extent.
So developmental.
I mean, if I owned the thing and I brought you in wherever our home base was, we would have a school. And if I'm paying you money every week and you're not sitting in your house, no, you're coming here to live because I'm paying you. And then you're going to be at the training school to keep your body in bump shape.
Yeah.
Because that's what's happening is all these people getting hurt because they don't wrestle anymore. Then all of a sudden they go out in the match and they get all amped up and they do some stupid move and they get hurt and then they're out. Then they're hurt for a long time. But if you're in the ring every day, just doing something, then it's not as hard on your body. That'd be like selling a guy he practices football. No, he don't practice at all, but once every 6 weeks, he's going to come out and play fullback. Oh, okay.
Well, that's been a proven thing in the NFL since they went to the collective bargaining where they can't do like 2-a-days. There's limited time on practices and all that stuff in the preseason. And that's totally why they blame the increase in injuries up in the NFL because they don't practice and their body's not used to it. I mean, I don't know if you watched last night's Colts game, but I don't know how many people got carted off that field last night. It was one right after the other.
They didn't score a touchdown. No, neither team scored a touchdown.
No touchdown, baby.
Wow.
Gemini Black 3.0, he's a new listener, Rip. Saw some of his YouTube stuff. I asked him about it. He's on here. Pretty cool. Welcome to the channel, Gemini. Dennis Ramsey, baby. He's a big time commenter on here. I got to put him over. Dennis Ramsey or Ramsey, whatever, however you say it. He's on here all the time. Rip, seen you wrestle many times. One great, one Macho Man 2, I guess. He saw you. You wrestled Savage before, right?
Yeah, but I wrestled pretty much just like him here when I first started because, hell, I lived with him and he was my hero. So you copy him. It doesn't come across as the same thing, but that's where you get your psychology from because, hell, I'm riding in the car with him.
Yeah, Vev was saying AEW guys are allowed to work other places. So you were saying they need to be in the ring every day. Some of them do indies and all that kind of stuff. That doesn't mean they're really getting practice. It's kind of like practicing shit that's not going to make you any better. Just going and doing the indies, really, probably.
You're just hanging out playing wrestler, and you go in there trying not to do nothing because you might get hurt because you're usually in there with a guy you don't really know and you don't trust. Once you get hurt, you're hurt. You hurt that knee, it's done forever, pretty much. You hurt a hip, then the other one starts hurting. You put in a strain, you hurt a shoulder, then the other one starts hurting. Put all the unnecessary, you put a strain on everything.
Dakota was wanting to know too. You always in the gym, you're always doing the pose and giving the bicep, pose to physical All right, we're back. Buckshot Kid's fault every single time we go live and this happens. I'm blaming Buckshot Kid. He's the one that makes us go live. And he just said, I still love the live show. So even though we have problems, we're back, baby. All right, we're back. Ready to roll. You guys hear me? It's on. I'm watching. Perfect. Chris Silvio says, Rip, when you have an advanced class and an inexperienced student joins, what is the best way to get him up to speed when training with the experienced wrestlers or just following them isn't working? So I remember you did this back in OVW, man. So when you got some advanced students in there and then you bring in a newbie, what's the best way to do that for Susio? And we'll go ahead and plug your Death Proof Dojo in Tampa. What do you think, Rip?
Well, I got to put you in there with somebody that's good and see what you're made of. You might be puking in 5 minutes because you ain't worth a shit, cardio-wise. Don't know. And I'd hand you off to the next for 5 minutes and hand you off to the next one for 5 minutes, and you're forced to catch up. You will do it.
What if they come in with nothing? They've never even ran the ropes or anything.
Well, why are they in my class?
Well, I think he only has maybe a class, possibly. Okay. I don't know. So you're saying not to put him in with the rest of them? Is that what you're saying?
No, put him in with the rest of them.
Well,
Go right in there.
You just said, why are they in my class? To me, that means like they shouldn't be in my class.
If you haven't run the ropes, and I got a bunch of guys that have been there for years, you ain't going to go off the street into my class.
Okay.
You gotta learn what 1 + 1 is before 10 × 10. You start out in first grade. You don't start out in 7th grade.
So make a separate class. Is that what you're saying?
No.
Well, I have no idea what you're saying. What are you saying?
Okay.
We said, why are you in my class? So what should they do with
Okay,
them?
what class was I teaching?
Well, it depends when. You did the contract class, got fired a couple of times. You did an intermediate class. You did a beginner class. You did a bunch of classes.
No. I never did a beginner's class.
Okay, intermediate
I never
class.
did a beginner's
You asked me the
class.
question. I answered what I thought. If not, just say it. It'd be much easier that way. I don't know. So what's your point? Intermediate class. How about that?
Well, you're not going to come in not knowing nothing if I'm going to be teaching you. If so, then what do I do before? I'd put them over with you in the corner to see what they know.
Yeah, because I was good. Yeah.
To see what they would know.
Yeah, put them with
then
me.
I'd say, okay, how's he doing? Okay, all right. Now let's try somebody else. Now let's put him with somebody else. We'll see and then after a couple of days, we'll know what the hell he's half-ass doing. But you got to remember, a young guy coming into a strange class, he's going to be nervous. All these eyes looking at him, these guys, he probably knew who they were, and he's looking up to them. And he's scared not to fuck up. He's scared to hit him. He might hurt somebody. So it's like you could be in really good shape, but if you're not used to being on like live TV and stuff like that, you're like shitting your pants, and you're so nervous. You might be a cardio machine, but you blow up. That'd be like guys in boxing when they're going out there. Hell, and I was boxing, I couldn't fight with a lick, but I never got nervous. But some other guys, they was blowing up, just going through the instructions. The people there, they're looking around, they're almost hyperventilating. You get used to being in, you learn how to relax and everything. But
horrible question, Silvio. That's what I'd take out of that. Terrible question. Buckshot Kid, more tabs you have open, the slower internet gets. No shit, Sherlock. I don't have any tabs open. Silvio follows it up. I hope this one's better. Rip, let's say you got someone out of the beginner's class who was FR and wrestling with the experienced guys wasn't working. Any other tips you tried? Tell him to go home.
I tell him McDonald's is hiring.
Tell him McDonald's is hiring. You suck, man. Get the hell out of here.
Everybody's not meant out to be a goddamn fucking wrestler. You're not any good. I can't help it. No, you can't. I can't help you. You're right.
Tell him to go to AEW.
Yeah, go to AEW.
Greg Smith, I always heard that in order to get better, you got to work with guys that are better than you. Yes. Do you agree with that? I agree with that. I'm sure Rip does too.
Well, I always say if you want to be any good, you work with everybody that's better than you, and that's how you get good. you can't be the best of your particular group, because who the hell are you going to learn from? You got to be the worst.
Dennis says, love Grand Prix Wrestling. Saturday nights in Berwick. Were you there, Rip?
Every Saturday night in Berwick.
Yeah.
Every Friday night in Bridgewater.
Memories.
Every Monday night in Cocaine.
He also wants to know what you thought of Killer Carl Krupp. Or Krupp. Which is it?
That's George Momberg. That was his real name. He did the fucking German gimmick. Had the gimmick false tooth that was like gimmicked off. And then he had the monocle, the goose stepper. He had the shaved head and everything. George Momberg.
So did you like him?
Oh yeah, he could have the good German accent. I think he was from Calgary or whatever. I can't remember. George Momberg, and he was around for years. I remember he come in brought his own belt in Robert Fuller's territory, as he was the European champion. So Waller said, "Hey, you got your own belt? That's great. Let's have a title match tonight." Of course, he just had him lose the European championship, right? So they didn't have to mess with that belt no more. I remember he's in Puerto Rico, and they brought him in because he'd been there before. So I said, "Krupp, better get your in and ass to the ring, because there's a stadium show and they're throwing these rocks at him and eggs and all kinds of stuff at you." He comes out, goose stepping, says, "Krupp runs from no man." About that time, pop, 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 pop. You see his little ass kicking it in.
That's awesome.
Krupp runs from no man, Heil Hitler. They just bombed him.
That's pretty good. So Greg Smith said, do you remember Bob Roop challenges where he'd stretch a fan? Did Roop do that challenge in ICW? That brings me to a thing I wanted to play here. You remember, did Bob Roop ever do that in ICW?
That was where he did it.
That was the only place he did it?
Yeah. And I was there that night. What happened was, it's a sugar hold challenge. He puts you in your sugar hold. The guy that did it, got out of it, was a judo guy or a karate guy or whatever, and he was real limber. So when you put that sugar hold up, if you're big and you got a big neck, you actually choke yourself out. The bigger, more muscular you are, you choke yourself out. This guy put his hands straight up like Roop had him, and he could have just, he was so flexible, athletic and flexible. And Roop had already been through a bunch of guys, and his left arm got tired.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he got tired. See, there wasn't no time limit or nothing, right? Instead of saying, we'll have a sugar hold challenge, there was people was lined up wanting to do it because they get a chance to win $1,000. Then the guy won $1,000.
They pay him, or was it fake?
No, they paid him.
Oh shit!
No, the building guy made sure that they paid him.
Wow.
Because Miser, he was hot about it, right?
Yeah.
But then the big rib was Roop. I said, "Bob, did you let him go just to piss Miser off or what?" And then Roop would just smile and laugh, and he would never say it, right? So, but they had that challenge, and then and we had to pay him. But I missed it because Roop was doing it a lot of places. So what it was about a 15-minute segment, right? Okay. So I think me and Pez were on next after that. So we're in the locker room, training, getting pumped up and everything just before we go out. So I missed all the action. And by the time people come in the dressing room and let me know, "Did you see that?" No, I was here in the dressing room. I'm on next.
You were pre-planning your match, probably.
No, we had.
You said, yeah.
No, we had separate dressing rooms. Excuse me.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, separate dressing rooms called the fucking ring.
I don't know what this says. It says Wrestling June 6, 1981. Bella Lugasso. What's that?
Bella.
Yeah, this is your advertising in ICW for a Halloween thing or something. That Bob Roop thing reminded me of it. I think I played it. I think I sent this to you. I don't know if you guys can hear this out here. I'm going to try this.
Saturday night at the AB Combs Elementary at Combs, Kentucky. In the main event, the terrifying Randy Macho Man Savage takes on the little monster Bob Roop. If Roop wins, he gets 5 minutes in the ring with Steve Cooper.
And his children have big beaks that can.
If he loses, he must leave Combs, Kentucky for 1 year.
Is that a threat or a promise?
Then 10 rounds of boxing. Rip Rogers versus Pistol Pez Watley.
Off the Raven. Nevermore.
Then it's Bob Roop versus all the wrestlers, all the fans, and anybody else, challenging anyone with an offer of $1,000 to break his sugar hold. And already Clasher Boomville, the 7-foot, 500-pound monster, has accepted. Also see The Destroyer versus Ricky Cook, The Miser versus Bomb Stambler, and Bill Mott. Wrestling action Saturday night at 8:30 at the A.B. Combs Elementary. Brought to you by the Combs Volunteer Fire Department and Logan Stein. The Combs Volunteer Fire Department brings you another suspense-filled, chilling evening of fun Saturday night at the A.B. Combs Elementary at Combs, Kentucky. In the main event, the terrifying Randy Macho Man Savage takes on the little monster Bob Roop. If Roop wins, he gets 5 minutes in the ring with Steve Cooper.
And his children have big beaks that care.
If he loses, he must leave Combs, Kentucky for 1 year.
Is that a threat or a promise?
Then 10 rounds of boxing. Rip Rogers versus Pistol Pez Watley.
Off the Raven. Nevermore.
Then it's Bob Roop versus all the wrestlers, all the fans, and anybody else, challenging anyone with an offer of $1,000 to break his sugar hold. And already Clasher Boomville, the 7-foot, 500-pound monster, has accepted. Also see The Destroyer versus Ricky Cook, The Miser versus Bomb Stambler, and Bill Mott. Wrestling action Saturday night at 8:30 at the A.B. Combs Elementary. Brought to you by the Combs Volunteer Fire Department and Logan Stein. The Combs Volunteer Fire Department brings you another suspense-filled, chilling evening of fun Saturday night at the A.B. Combs Elementary at Combs, Kentucky. In the main event, the terrifying Randy Macho Man Savage takes on the little monster Bob Roop. If Roop wins, he gets 5 minutes in the ring with Steve Cooper.
And his children have big beaks that care.
If he loses, he must leave Combs, Kentucky for 1 year.
Is that a threat or a promise?
Then 10 rounds of boxing. Rip Rogers versus Pistol Pez Watley.
Off the Raven. Nevermore.
Then it's Bob Roop versus all the wrestlers, all the fans,
Oh,
and
now
everybody
it's
else,
good.
challenging anyone with an offer of $1,000 to break his sugar hold. And already Clasher Boomville, the 7-foot, 500-pound monster, has accepted. Also see The Destroyer versus Ricky Cook, The Miser versus Bomb Stambler, and Bill Mott. Wrestling action Saturday night at 8:30 at the A.B. Combs Elementary. Brought to you by the Combs Volunteer Fire Department and Logan Stein. The Combs Volunteer Fire Department brings you another suspense-filled, chilling evening of fun Saturday night at the A.B. Combs Elementary at Combs, Kentucky. In the main event, the terrifying Randy Macho Man Savage takes on the little monster Bob Roop. If Roop wins, he gets 5 minutes in the ring with Steve Cooper.
And his children have big beaks that care.
You remember this?
If he loses, he must leave Combs, Kentucky for 1 year.
Is that a threat or a promise?
Then 10 rounds of boxing. Rip Rogers versus Pistol Pez Watley.
Off the Raven. Nevermore.
Then it's Bob Roop versus all.
Rip versus Pez and boxing, baby. How'd that turn out, Rip? Do you remember?
I think I put my glove in the water bucket, and I hit him up in front, and then water splattered everywhere, and I knocked him out.
Did you get you didn't get DQ'd for that? No.
Mhm.
So 10. What round was that? You know, 10 rounds of boxing. Why were you? Was this? Did you? How did it end with you and Pez in the convertible blonde? Was this before the convertible blondes?
Oh
Or,
yeah, Pez the baby face.
I didn't know. Did you guys ever break up?
I think Pez went to Atlanta.
Okay, but
Yeah, okay. This is how Pez got to Atlanta. This is when Paul Orndorff got in with Tony Atlas, and didn't zero. And then all of a sudden, Roop called Pez in Lexington where he was at with ICW and said, Pez, Paul Orndorff just bit Tony Atlas's ear off. So there's a spot for you, but you got to be here tonight. So Pez was supposed to run another town that night because we had a couple towns going. So Pez just took off in the middle of the night, and you saw him on Atlanta TV the next week.
Wow.
And he was going to be star timing it.
So he never was really written off ICW TV then?
Right.
What did Miser think of that?
Well, what could you think?
Well,
He was going to make money and big star. Good for him. Pez was there from the ground floor in ICW, and all of a sudden he got a break. That's the way it usually happens.
Yeah, but I heard like even Jimmy Hart leaving Memphis and going to WWF. I mean, I've heard stories of people not being real happy about how that went down. So I thought maybe the Miser would have like an opinion or feelings or something.
Well, of course you do, but you got to look at. It's like Jimmy Hart did his time at Memphis. He was there for years, and they built the territory around him. He'd be the manager to go out with all the heels. It's time for him to make some money.
Yeah.
So more power for Jimmy.
Yeah. All right. Anybody got any last questions? About to wrap this show up, I think. Not sure we talked about anything. Greg Smith said as a kid, I didn't appreciate how good guys like Bobby Eaton and Art Anderson were. I just got older and appreciated them a lot more. They were so good. Bobby was so good. Arn was a technician. I heard Cornette say that, and somebody else said Dennis Connery was probably the best of all those guys. We got any memories or thoughts on Dennis Connery, Rip?
Yeah, Dennis was great. Well, he was just a little bit older. He had more experience than these guys. So when Bobby started when he was about 17 or 18, I'm thinking. And Bobby was good, but but Dennis looked the part. He looked like a mean old redneck.
Yeah.
And then he used to be partners with the guy from Jackson.
Randy Rose?
No. Shit, I see his face. The big guy took big bumps, but he was heavy, and he was a bouncer at a club there. Well, anyway, no, Condry, he was a real pro, and he had been years and years.
Oh, Phil Hickerson, he said.
Yes, Phil. Yeah, that's it. Who said that?
Greg Smith.
Yeah, it was Phil Hickerson, right? It was Phil Hickerson and Dennis Condry, and Phil could take great bumps, and he was a real big guy, and they was a hell of a team. But yeah, Bobby, they learned from Dennis Condry. He was really good.
I remember Hickerson, didn't he wear a mask at some point in time in Memphis?
He might have, but everybody knew him as Phil Hickerson.
Who was the Dream Machine?
Oh, that's Troy Graham. Troy T. Tyler.
Yeah.
We was together in Mississippi. He'd sleep all day and he'd be up all night. And he would do the Dusty Rhodes imitation interviews. Dream Machine. Troy Graham. That's like Kamala. He come up to see Troy and say hi to him when he was working for Memphis. And then Lawler saw him, and he looked at Jim Harris, and he said, "Oh," and he invented Kamala in his mind right there. That's how Kamala became Kamala.
Right.
Lawler saw him. He painted his face up and everything, and I met Kamala. He'd stayed at my place. Slept some because there was me, Izzy Slapowitz, Ralph Derryberry, who was Big Boy Williams, and Rick Connors all stayed at the hotel in Jackson. And Kamal would come in, and he'd come in and spend the night sometimes because he lived at home, but was had a longer trip, so he just spent the night on the couch.
So the vet is a member. So we got to take the vet's question here for sure. He's a member, baby. The vet wants to know, Rip, or me, I guess, any vet stories. I think he's talking about himself. Any stories vet wants us to put him over here, probably.
Well, he wants us to put him over, don't
Where's
he?
vet from? Where are you from, vet? When are you from? The West Coast? West Coast, baby.
Uh-huh.
Came in, the Army of Two. That was a good gimmick with Zeus. Always like that.
Zeus. That's
Vet and
funny.
Zeus, the Army of Two, man.
I
That
don't-
was
when they do the fucking boom and they'd spin
the
it
turn.
around. Yeah.
I remember.
Oh, the
I
turn was
remember.
awesome.
I think he said this on YouTube the other day when we did a 6-man. I was with him. I was going all around the ring, acting crazy, and they were all doing their like
Salute.
normal,
Or
normal, and that
advance. The
spin.
normal-
They always did
yeah.
that turn or whatever it's called. That.
That's probably the highlight of the match.
So we think, Vet, your entrance, and your little turn, your thing, is salute and turn. That was the best part of your match, is what we're concluding here.
Yeah.
Sacramento, California, baby. No, we're just giving you shit, man. Buckshot Kid, great show. The live shows you do, less F-ups will happen. High viewership, 14, good work. All right, second live show. All right, I think we're out of here, man. Hey, get a membership. I think somebody in the comments told me how to view the membership or whatever. I got a Wi-Fi extender. Apparently didn't work. Maybe I can plug in the Ethernet. I want to be able to show some videos, some pictures, some other audio as we go along without this thing crashing. So hopefully we get to do that stuff. Any other questions, comments, throw them in there. Suggestions. I love when we get the email suggestions. Yeah, that was me who told you how. Yeah. Let us know. Like, subscribe, share, smash, all that good shit. We need to get some viewership on this thing. Rip, you got any final thoughts on this extremely horrible episode 33 of Wrestling with
you're
Rip
always saying
Rogers?
This was the worst.
Oh,
thing
God, this
ever.
was terrible, man. You got that text.
No, I'm going to say it.
You got a text, and the whole show went to shit right after it. The last 50 minutes has been brutal.
Yes, it has. Didn't even have to cuss much because it's so rotten.
All right.
Yeah,
Thanks for
Bob.
joining us, you 8 to 14 people. We'll see you next time.
Greatest ever.